Hare Krishna.
Mhm. Yes, I think the webcast has started, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear
Mhm.
devotees. Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley's Wednesday evening program. We are very grateful to each and every one of you who has joined in to share this evening with all of us. So we will start with Mangalachanam prayers
Yes,
first.
Prabhu. Let me share the screen.
Okay. Ready, Guru? ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सागना रघुनाथान्वितां त्वां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे प्रपाद की जय Thank you all once again for joining us this evening on ISV's ISKCON of Silicon Valley's Wednesday evening program. On behalf of Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohanji, Shriman Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Dev Ji, and Srila Prabhupada, I very warmly welcome you all for this evening's session. And I'm also very grateful for our temple authorities for giving me this chance in the middle of Kartik, right in the middle of Kartik, to purify myself and also be of service to the devotees. So we will start right now. Let me do a quick share. Okay. You can see my screen, I believe. Right.
Yes, yes, Prabhu, I can see.
Thank you. Great. So this evening session we call it as Sri Govardhan Parikrama. But before we oh, sorry. Yes. Before we start, we again invoke gratitude and respects and prayers to Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy we are all together now. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. With that, we'll start with a prayer. Jai Radha Madhava. I have a mridanga here. I'll try that. Let's see if we can work that together. This is call and response. I will try to sing, and then you guys can follow along. And let's see. This is again a prayer invoking Radha and Krishna's mercy before we embark on this Govardhan Parikrama. Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Gopal गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दना जय ब्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदनन्दना जय ब्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुनातिरवनचारी कुञ्ज बिहारी जय यमुनातिरवनचारी कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुञ्ज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुञ्ज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दना जय व्रज जनरञ्जना जय यमुना तिरवनचारी कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे शिवपाद की जय गौर भक्तवृंद की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल शिवलाम की जय Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us. So, with having requested prayers from Shri Radha Madan Mohanji, Shriman Mahaprabhu, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Dev Ji, Shri Radha Madan Mohanji, we will step forward in our Govardhan Parikrama today. Yes, today happens to be probably the first weekend of the Kartik month, very auspicious month for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is the month very favorite for Srimati Radharani, as we saw in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that we sang now. Hare Krishna and Rama. There are three words in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna stands for the all attractive Lord. Rama is the one who gives pleasure or who is the reservoir of all pleasures. And Hare stands for the Sare stands for the feminine energy of the Lord, which is Radharani, Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani has different names. So Hare is a way to invoke her mercy. Radha or Radharani is her name. Kartika or Kirtika, because she is the daughter of Kirtida Devi. Kartika is also her name. And another name of hers is Urja. So in this month, Kartik month, which is very dear to her, for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, it is a very positive month because whatever we do in this month, even smaller devotional activities, very easily pleases Srimati Radharani. And once she is pleased, she can recommend us to Krishna. And when she recommends us to Krishna, Krishna will automatically accept us in his shelter. So that is why most of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we try to take opportunity or make full use of this particular month. I have a small example that kind of made it easy for me. Like in my kitchen one day, there was this drain in which a small steel glass fell down, and it had a wide opening, the steel glass, and so it was inside. And with the fingers, whatever I could do, I mean, I just could not pick it up. It was an impossible problem. But I then got a tool, which is a pliers, and with the pliers, I was just able to hold on to the edge of the steel tumbler, and just very easily pull it up. So with that just tool, a problem which was almost not solvable became solved. So similarly, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a tool that is given to us by which we can talk to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna, he's there in the Goloka. He's of course everywhere there, but to try to talk to him, the easiest and simplest tool is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting on the beats and chanting those mantras even in this especially month of Kartik, which is embodied with uh, compassionate energy of Srimati Radhani is very, very useful. And that is why, if you see, there are many festivals that also occur in this particular month, or the month of Kartik, which is very dear to Radharani and therefore which is dear to Krishna. And there are wonderful pastimes of Krishna that happens in these things, in this month. One of the most important ones, or one of the most learned, or one of the most heard ones, is this Govardhan Leela, where you can see how you know Lord Indra was unhappy, and then he started putting a lot of rain on Vrindavan to inundate Vrindavan, and Krishna simply effortlessly lifted the entire Govardhan mountain in his on the pinky finger of his left hand, and very nicely for the next 7 days and 7 nights he held it up there, and all the Brajavasis were under the umbrella of of Giriraj, and all of them were together with Krishna day and night. Wonderful pastime was possible because of this particular because of course Indra, Lord Indra. But then that's where the Govardhan Leela comes in, and we have heard the story many times. But there are some takeaway points which I thought we could share with everyone, which are especially useful for our own lives, especially my own life. I would like to imbibe them more and more in this way. Like these are some of the points. One is take shelter of Krishna, or only Krishna you can take shelter of. When worship the Lord, not for any material gain, but out of love and devotion. Demigod worship has a place, but ultimate devotion is to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because we respect the demigods, but we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, pride, even in high positions, is a stumbling block to spiritual advancement. Then the Lord accepts offerings through his various forms, including Govardhan Hill. As we know, Govardhan Hill is Krishna himself, but Govardhan is also a devotee of the Lord. So, and as Krishna himself, he accepts all the offerings of the Lord, and as a devotee of the Lord, he he presents amazing caves, mountains, springs, everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Uh, so yeah, Krishna accepts all of the offerings through Govardhan Hill. And then he also protects and reciprocates with his devotees personally. So that's another beautiful lesson that comes out of this particular Leela that happened during this auspicious month of Kartik, which is uh, Govardhan Leela. Then another Leela that happened in the same very month is Damodar Leela. Very beautiful pastime where Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna because of his naughty behavior, and finally, after a lot of after a lot of effort by Krishna's mercy, and of course Mother Yashoda's determination, she's able to bind Krishna, and then of course Krishna takes this wooden grinding mortar which is bound to between the two Yamala Arjuna trees, and he very effortlessly makes them fall down, and Nalakuvara and Manigriva, the demigod sons of Kuvera, are liberated, and they by due to Narada Muni's mercy and blessings, they're able to see the Supreme Personality of God. Again, wonderful lessons that can be taken from here. Just sharing a few here. Love binds Krishna more than ropes. It's primarily because of Srimati Yashoda Devi's love that Krishna could be born. Otherwise, nothing in this world can bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And again, another thing that comes up is bhakti must be personal, not mechanical. And then the Lord becomes subordinate to pure devotees. And every time Mother Yashoda is trying to bind Krishna, the rope falls off 2 fingers short, and she again and again gets more and more ropes, but the rope falls again 2 fingers short. And our acharyas explain what are those 2 inches short mean. It means our effort and Krishna's mercy. In everything we do, our effort has to be there. Our determined effort has to be there. Like Mother Yashoda, who put a determined effort to bind Krishna, and then of course then Krishna's mercy will come in, and by Krishna's mercy, he gets born, and everything happens wonderfully. And same way in our life, we have to put our effort, and then when mercy comes, it becomes an amazing experience. And then of course Krishna's pastimes are not just stories; they are windows into his eternal loving nature. And that again shows up in this particular pastime of Damodar Leela. And then we have one more festival, which is the Gopashtami. Another beautiful festival. Krishna is now officially graduating from taking care of the calves to taking care of the cows. And Nanda Maharaj is very happily sending him to take care of the cows. Go Seva, or service to cows. Namo Brahmane Devaya, Go Brahmane Hitaya, Jagatitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna is very, cows are very, very favorable to Krishna, and he takes care of them with all his love. And bhakti is personal, it just goes deep and grows with time. Simplicity, humility, care for cows are signs of maturity, spiritual maturity. Another lesson that comes out of here is Krishna accepts even humble service as the highest pleasure. So that's another pastime that happened in this month, Kartik month. And then there's one more month. There's one more thing that happens in this particular month, which is the festival of Diwali, which is uh, Krishna when he comes as Lord Ram in the when he comes as Lord Ram in the Ramayana. We understand that after triumphing over Ravana, the demon king Ravana, who kidnapped Mother Sita, on this particular day, or on the Diwali day, that is the Amavasya night, Ayodhya, Lord Ram is returning to Ayodhya with Mother Sita and Lakshmana and Hanumanji, and all the Ayodhya have lit up lamps just to welcome the Lord Ram into their homes and into their hearts. So this was Diwali festival, and that also gives us many wonderful lessons that we can learn. Like Dharma is always triumphing over at the end, and we should serve like Hanuman with strength, purity, and devotion. Of course, lust, greed, pride lead to destruction, just like Ravana's fate. Sita Devi's chastity is the model for spiritual faithfulness, and real Diwali is primarily welcoming Lord Ram into our hearts. And we have to associate with the devotees for strength and victory in bhakti. So all these festivals, there are a number of more other festivals that happen in this particular month. So a very festive month, very potent month. So in this potent month, we seek the blessings of Lord Ramachandra, Sita Devi, and Krishna and your mother Yashoda. And we would like to move ahead in trying to do a virtual Govardhan Parikrama. We may not be personally present in Govardhan Dham right now, but this is our opportunity to try to, with our minds and our senses, or we can try to get into the aspect of being in Vrindavan or being in Govardhan. So that's it. We will start with the first prayer to Sri Govardhan ji. Namaste Girirajaya Govardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the King of Mountains, whose name is Govardhan. He destroys unlimited miseries and bestows the highest bliss. Sri Govardhan ji ki jai. So one question that first came up to me as to when we think about parikrama, or why do we need to do parikrama? Why do we need to do this Govardhan parikrama? It is said in our shastras that there are 5 activities in Bhakti Yoga that guarantee us swift advancement. They are chanting Hare Krishna, which we can do wherever we are, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that also we can do wherever we are. Now, with Srimad Bhagavatam being available to each and every one of us, we can read every day. Associating with devotees, again by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, association of devotees is available quite nicely to most of us. So that's also possible every day. Worshipping the deity, again, yes, deities are present in almost every city of America and every city all around the world. So that is also possible. The final one is living in or visiting the Holy Dham. So for not for everyone, living in the Holy Dham is possible, but once a year or twice a year or a couple of times a year, we can always visit the Holy Dham. And that's what Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to the Srimad Bhagavatam 5.13.8. He says, as part of his purport, he says, one must go to the Vrindavan forest and take shelter of Govinda. That will make one happy. And along with this, of course, it also enlightens one. When we go and do the parikrama around Vrindavan or around Varsana or around Govardhan, basically it enlightens us. It brings out the goodness within our hearts, and it brings out our connection to Krishna. And that is the reason why we embark on a parikrama. And today's goal is also the same. We would love to try to see if we can go around the parikrama of Sri Govardhan ji, Giriraj ji, and increase our love to Giriraj especially in this month of Kartik. Okay. Okay. So this is the overall map of Govardhan. As you see, actually, I wanted to mention that 2 years ago, I was also given a similar opportunity just at the beginning of Karthik, and that's where we presented the first topic called preparing for Karthik, and where we did the parikrama of Vrindavan, and we kind of just started the parikrama of Govardhan, and we stopped there as the session time was over. So by Krishna's mercy, we got this again opportunity. So now we are now taking this forward wherever we left off. Hopefully, we can take this and move go around this virtual parikrama of Sri Govardhan Dham. And as seen here, it's Govardhan Ji is spread over from here to here. Hopefully, you can follow along my mouse cursor. It's Govardhan is in the form of kind of, they say that it's in the form of a peacock with his head at the top here, and Radhakund, Shyamakund being the eyes, and the entire tail out here, and where Puchika Lota Baba being the lowermost portion of his tail. This is another artist view of Govardhan, very beautifully done. Just gives us a picture, a high level picture of what's happening here. Like where is Govardhan, where is the Parikrama mark, and as you can see here, this entire area. I hope I can draw. Okay, this entire area is basically all of this area is the Parikrama mark for Govardhanji. This area is usually called the Choti Parikrama mark, and then you have the Badi Parikrama mark, which is around this area. Correct. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Good. So yes, so we will start in the similar lines of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Govardhan, as I read from the books here, that he started his parikrama at Kusum Sarovar, and as always we keep Govardhanji on our right, and then he moved forward along this direction, along Anur village, then around Lord Narsimhadev's temple here around the Puchika Lota Baba, and then around Chatpura, and then come more towards Manasi Ganga out here, and then finally culminate at Radhakund Shamakund out here. So that forms the entire parikrama of Sri Govardhan Giriraj, and that is what we will try to see how far we can go in today's yatra. Okay, great. And this particular this whole thing is inspired by a wonderful book by His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj. So it's primarily most of the uh, uh, literature is coming out of that book. And in this book, Maharaj mentions that before we enter into parikrama, we need the blessings of five personalities, because we, as such, with our current state of material conditioning and we might not be able to see Vrindavan or Govardhan as it is, but for us to enter into the inner realm, we need the blessings, and we need to sincerely beg for the permission and blessings of these five great personalities. One is Lord Shiva, second is Vrinda Devi, third is Mother Yamuna River, four is Giriraj himself, and fifth is Paurnamasi, Mother Paurnamasi. It's only under their blessings and mercy, and when we forget that, then Vrindavan will be revealed to us. Then Govardhanji will be revealed to us. Then Radha and Krishna's pastimes couldn't be revealed to us. So sincerely trying to pray at their lotus feet. Uh, yeah, we want to pray at their lotus feet to give us permissions and blessings, so we can try to enter into Govardhan Dham and go through this different pastimes around Govardhan. Okay, so yes, we will start with our first space. We will start with Kusum Sarovar, which is right somewhere here. Oh, yes, Kusum Sarovar. Number two. Yes, sorry, that was switching. This is the place where Kusum Sarovar is present. So we will start with Kusum Sarovar, a very beautiful lake out here, and a wonderful temple built by one of the kings in the previous eras. It's still one of the best shots, I would say, in Govardhan, as you can see out here. Very beautiful place. For this, I wanted to directly read from. from His Holiness Indrajamanama Swami Maharaj's book about the pastime of the Kusum Sarovar. Actually, what pastime happened in Kusum Sarovar, why it got the name Kusum Sarovar, and more details. Because narrating it might be okay, but reading it directly from the mouth of wonderful Acharya will give us even more bliss and even more. It can take us more deeper. So with that, I request permission to read from this particular verse, this particular chapter of this book, Kusum Sarovar. Welcome to Kusum Sarovar. Kusum Sarovar is also one of the most important and significant places of Radha Krishna's transcendental Leelas. Kusuma means flowers, and Sarovar means lake. Translated literally, it means a lake of flowers. This name is connected with the fact that previously this whole area was just covered with flower gardens. The area around the lake was called Pushpavan. One means forest, Pushpa means flowers. Pushpavan means forest of flowers. 5,000 years ago, the gopis would come here and collect flowers for the service of Krishna. One time, Radharani and her girlfriends woke up early and did their household duties. So they could come here very early and pick all the nice flowers for the Shanji festival. During this festival, the ladies and the girls decorated their houses with fresh flowers, and the elderly residents decide who wins. The gopis were very excited, and they were sharing ideas about how they could decorate their houses. The cowherd boys do not really like to associate closely with the gopis, the girls. When Krishna sneaks away to meet the gopis, the boys are just so upset. Oh, Krishna, he has gone away with the girls again. But some of the cowherd boys help Radha and Krishna meet, and these cowherd boys are headed by Radharani's brother Sridhama. Having woken up, Sridhama saw all of these girls talking, all excited and ready to go somewhere. He listened closely and could understand that they were going to Pushpavan to collect flowers for the festival. He immediately ran to Nandagram. Radharani lives with her excuse me. Radharani lives with her Sakhis in the area of Varsana, and Krishna lives in Nandagram. Sridhama and all the cowherd boys came to Nandagram to meet Krishna, who had just woken up. All were greeting each other, excited for another adventurous day. All the birds and all the parrots were sitting on the window sill of Krishna's room, and they were singing very sweet songs to wake up Krishna. Mother Yashoda very quietly entered into the room with a plate of milk sweets to feed her Lala just as he woke up. Actually, Krishna would never get enough sleep because he's always sporting with the gopis during the night, so it is little difficult to wake him up. When Krishna woke up, he saw a smiling Mother Yashoda. All the residents of Vrindavan were waiting for this moment. This was the beginning of the day. Krishna looked out the window. The cowherd boys greeted him cheerfully from outside. They were calling out, "Hey Krishna, come along quickly. We are going to Pushpavan today." Krishna was a little surprised because that is generally where the gopis go. He thought, why are the boys going there? Then he remembered that today was the beginning of Sanji and all the girls were going there to collect flowers. He looked at the boys, he was looking at the boys, and suddenly this expression of pain came over his face. He held his stomach and said, "Oh boys, I have a tummy ache. I don't think I can go to Pushpavan with you today." He fell back into his bed, holding his tummy and even moaning. All the cowherd boys ran into his bedroom. Krishna was lying under the sheet, moaning, "Oh, Mata Yashoda, my tummy hurts." Balaram entered the room, asking, "Krishna, what is the problem?" Krishna said, "I don't feel good today. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere today. It's getting late now. You take all the boys and all the cows and go to the forest without me." The Gopas were sad, but this was Krishna's instruction. They all left with Balaram. Then, just as they were going down the road, just around the turn, Balaram looked back and saw Krishna peeking over the window, still watching everyone go. Balaram was smiling. He thought, Krishna is not sick today. He has some other plans. I think Krishna wants to go to Pushpavan without us. Meanwhile, Radharani and all the gopis came to Pushpavan. They were going around their baskets, picking all the best flowers to decorate their homes. But Radharani's basket was empty. She was moving mechanically, meditating on her beloved Krishna. She couldn't get very much done. This pastime is described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Govardhan Leelamrita. He says that Radharani was like a statue. She was frozen in her meditation on the Lord. She would take a few steps and then would become frozen again. That is why there were no flowers in her basket. The gopis saw what was happening to her and said, "Oh, that is all right. We will put flowers in her basket." Radharani was wandering off somewhere through Pushpavan, a beautiful flower garden. She came across one tree which had exquisitely beautiful flowers, but its branches were thorny. Radharani thought, "Oh, such beautiful flowers! They would be so wonderful for my Shyama." This was her only meditation, Shyama Sundar. She started to pick some of these flowers, but her sari got caught in some of the thorns. So the more she tried to free herself, the more entangled she became. She called out, "Sakis, Sakis, please come help. I am caught in this thorny tree." But still no one heard her. All her Sakis were at some distant place. Kaviraj Goswami says that her words were lost in the valleys of Govardhan hill. She did what any devotee would do. She prayed to her Ishtadev, the sun god. Radharani is always praying to Surya and the sun god, and for only one thing, to give her more opportunities to associate with Krishna. She started praying, and suddenly a very beautiful personality appeared right before her. A personality with very mysterious, beautiful lotus eyes and darkish skin. The air smelled like aguru. Radharani was thinking, "I know this person. I think I know this person." She became a little confused for a moment. Maybe it is the spirit of the tree. She prayed more to the sun god. That divine personality helped release her from all the thorny branches, and then he disappeared. As soon as that person had touched her body, she became stunned, immovable with ecstatic symptoms of prema. When the Sakis found her in that state, they were alarmed. "What happened to our Radhika? She was out here picking flowers, and now she can't even talk. We have to take her back immediately to Varsana. But if we take her back like this, then our parents will be so upset that they will never let us come back to Pushpavan. Radha, Radha, tell us, speak, what happened? Tell us something. Why are you stunned like this?" Finally she said, "It was a being. He was blackish, and he had beautiful eyes." Lalita Saki said, "He stole your mind." She then said to the gopis, "Only the one who has stolen the mind of our Saki can bring her back to life." All the gopis began wandering through Pushpavan, trying to find the personality who did this. "Where is that spirit? Where is it?" Suddenly the spirit appeared before them, but at this time he looked a little different, appearing as a gardener. He was very tall and handsome, with flowing black hair and a moustache. He had all of his garden equipment with him, shovels, rakes, and so on. He said to the gopis, "Girls, where have you collected all these flowers in your baskets?" "We pick them. We come here all the time to pick them," the gopis replied. The gardener said, "Whose permission do you have to pick those flowers? You don't have anyone's permission. You are thieves." By this time the gopis could understand who this so-called gardener was. They said, "No, you are famous as a thief. You steal yogurt and butter. You steal young girls' hearts, and it is you who stole our Saki's mind." The gardener said, "Well, anyway, you are out here destroying my forest." The gopis can be very sharp, especially Lalita. She gets very fiery at Krishna sometimes when she is protecting Radha. That is her personality. She stepped right in front of that gardener, wagging her finger at him. "No, you destroy it with all your cows." Then Vishaka came forward. "Anyway, we can do here whatever we want because this forest belongs to Radharani and she is Vrindavaneshwari. This was Vrindadevi's forest and she gave it to Radharani. Radharani is Vrindavaneshwari. Everything in this forest belongs to our Saki, Radharani." The gardener, who of course was Krishna, said, "Does everything in Vrindavan belong to your Saki?" Rupamanjari, who is the main servant of Radharani, stepped forward. "Yes, everything and every one in Vrindavan belongs to my Saki." The gardener stood on his stick, twisted his moustache, and smiled. "I thought I was employed by Kamsa Maharaj. If what you are saying is correct, then I am also your Saki's subject. She should tell me what I must do." These discussions between Krishna and the gopis are described in Govinda Lilamrita and Krishna Bhavanamrita. All of the gopis giggled and said, "All right, We will consider your request, but now we have to go. The gardener said, No, no, you cannot leave without giving me any service to your Saki, because I am also living in Vraja, so I am also hers. Lalita said, Well, what service do you want? The gardener smiled. I could, I would like to comb and decorate your Saki's hair. The gopis gasped. Even we are hankering for such an intimate service. And who are you? Just some gardener. Lalita glanced at Radharani, asking in a way, Radha, what is your opinion? Radharani, with a look of shyness, nodded with a little glance. To commemorate these pastimes, this beautiful palace was built here around the Kund by the king of Bharatpur, Maharaj Jawahara Singh, in the 18th century. So that's a small anecdote as to this palace was built by whom. The gopis sat Radharani down, and the gardener Krishna very beautifully combed her hair and was making exquisite braiding, which even the gopis could not imagine. Then he took some pearls and flowers and very expertly wove them into her hair. He put some diamonds at the end of her braid, and he put a very beautiful Chandrika design on her face. Then Krishna turned to the gopis and said, Now to continue my work, I need a little water. Does anyone have any water? The gopis replied, No, Shama, there is no water. The lake was not here at that time. Krishna said, All right, I will go down to Manasi Ganga. Radharani grabbed his hand, saying, After so many obstacles, I finally have your company, and you are going to go? Krishna responded, All right, we will go together. I will finish braiding your hair there. Radharani, who did not want to be separated from her gopis, said, No, Shama, I am too tired. I will stay here. Krishna then took his Vamsi flute, touched it to the ground, and right here this wonderful kunda appeared. What is the source of this kunda? Krishna's Vamsi. That is why it is such a sacred place. So Krishna took some water, purified the ornaments and flowers he wanted to use, and continued decorating Radharani's hair. The gopis were astounded by his work. Radha said, I want to see. Rupa Manjari, who is Rupa Goswami in Gauranga Leela, came and held a mirror in front of Radharani's face. A big smile came on Radharani's face because in the mirror she did not look at her own reflection. She saw Shamasundar's reflection. And when Krishna looked on the mirror, he smiled because he saw Radharani's reflection. Then, when Lalita and Vishakta looked in the mirror, they saw Radha and Krishna. They all were so immersed in these nectarian pastimes that time went by quickly. Lalita jumped up, saying, We have to go. Our parents are going to be worried that we have gone for so long. Radharani turned to Lalita and simultaneously grabbed Krishna's hand. I don't want to go. I want to stay with my Shama. Lalita said, Well, maybe we can take your Shama with us. Radharani said, How can I do that? How can I take Shama home? What will my parents say? Lalita is the guru of the gopis. She smiled and said, I heard that your Shamasundar once appeared in an incarnation called Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti was so beautiful that even Lord Shiva became bewildered. I would like to see how beautiful your Shamasundar would be dressed like a girl. All the girls started laughing. Let's dress Shama as a girl. They took him to a kunja and helped him dress. When they finished, Radharani was stunned. Who are you? Krishna smiled and said, I am Shama Gopi. Radharani took the hand of this Gopi and said, Shama Gopi, please come with me. Kaviraj Goswami describes that Radha and Krishna, Radharani and Shama Gopi walked back in Varsana hand in hand. Along with all the other gopis, they engaged in the Sanji festival. Krishna, Shamagopi, and Radharani together decorated the house of Srimati Radharani. That night, all the Vrajavasis were only talking about the flower decorations of Radharani's house. They were the most beautiful. Also, they were talking about the Saki of Srimati. Look at that special Saki next to Radharani. We have never seen her before. She is exquisitely beautiful. There is another wonderful pastime connected to this lake. One day, a village boy came to Sanatan Goswami without understanding the most important thing, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The boy asked Goswami to give him the most valuable thing he had. First, Sanatan Goswami gave him the touchstone which can turn anything to gold. The boy realized that the stone was not so valuable because the Vrajavasis were not impressed with gold. You've got some gold, that's rubbish. You are not going to impress the real Vrajavasis with Dhanam, Janam and Sundarim. They have something infinitely better, Krishna Prema. They were laughing at the boy and his gold. The boy came back here. Nearby was one of Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutirs, and he said, I thought you were going to give me the most valuable thing, but it is not so. Excuse me. Sanatan Goswami replied, I will give you Krishna Prema, but you have to throw that touchstone away. You have to give up to get. The boy said, okay, I will put it in my pocket. Now it is gone. Couldn't fool Guru. Then he said, I'll put it over here. Sanatan Goswami said, no, throw it into Kusum Sarovar. And that is what he did. This touchstone is still there at the bottom of Kusum Sarovar. That's the thing. Yeah, that's where that's kind of another pastime of, and of course, this boy was blessed by Sanatan Goswami. So this is a beautiful pastime of Kusum Sarovar, which I also heard probably for the first time. Very wonderful pastime as to how this lake or Kusum Sarovar, this lake of full of flowers, basically a flower lake, appeared right here in Govardhan area, and of course, then this palace which was built by one of the kings of the previous era. It's one of the best places to start our yatra with. That's Kusum Sarovar. Kusum Sarovar ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Next, after Kusum Sarovar, we will come to Manasi Ganga. And this is another place. This Manasi Ganga, it is said that this is a quick story that I will narrate. So when Vatsasura came as a little calf, Vatsasura was a demon sent by King Kamsa, and he disguised as a little calf because Krishna loves to play with the calves, and he was taking care of the calves. Vatsasura thought that I could disguise as a calf and come and somehow take Krishna or Balaram away and try to kill them. So Vatsasura joined the herd of Krishna, but Krishna quickly recognized who he was, and Krishna, he was able to take care of him and actually killed him, and he liberated him. But when, after liberating him, when he came to meet Radha and her friends, Radharani and her friends, they all told Krishna that, oh Krishna, you have killed a cow. How is it possible? You are a cowherd man, cowherd boy, and you have killed a cow. That's the biggest, greatest offense, and you have to purify yourself. And Krishna said, no, no, he was a demon. He was a demon, but he was only he was only like disguised as a calf, but he was actually a demon, and I liberated him. But Radharani was very strong there. She said to him, no, you killed a calf, and you have to purify yourself. And to purify yourself, you have to go to Ganga ji and take bath there. And then Krishna told that Ganga ji is 500 kilometers away from here. It's up in the north. That will take a long time for me to go and come back. But Radharani said, no, you have to purify yourself only in the Ganga. Then Krishna said, okay, if I cannot go to Ganga, but you only want me to take bath in Ganga, I will have Ganga come here. And from his mind, he invoked Ganga, and Ganga appeared in Vrindavan. And it's also told that because Yamuna Devi is there in Vrindavan, and Ganga Devi is the sister of Vrindavan, a sister of Yamuna, Yamuna Devi was always thinking that, oh, Ganga also should get the association of Krishna. And even due to that prayers, and of course Radharani's wish here, Krishna from his mind invoked Ganga, and that's the whole river that was formed here. And then it was previously a river lake. Now it's a small pond, but in previous ages it was a very big lake, and that is what is Manasi Ganga. And that's how Manasi Ganga appeared here, and Krishna took his bath here and purified himself. And of course afterwards, Radharani and all her friends also used to take their bath in the same place for quite some time. And there's another pastime with Manasi Ganga that is associated. Once upon a time, a Brahmana visiting, traveling all over the north, he came to Nanda Maharaj's village, and he was telling of the story that Garuda once picked up a huge snake and was about to devour him, and was flying away after picking him. But the snake was quite long. So a portion of his tail, by some reason, touched Ganga, and because the portion of the tail touched Ganga, the snake automatically got a 400 Vishnu form. At that point of time, Garuda put him onto his back and took him straight to Vaikunta. Hearing this, Nanda Maharaj was very happy and thinking that, okay, we should also try to go to Mother Ganga and take our bath there. And but then Krishna came and told, no, you don't have to do, because Yamuna is everything to us, and Mother Ganga is also here. But Nanda Maharaj did not believe. He said that no, there is only Yamuna here. That what you're showing me is just another lake. associated with Yamuna. But then Krishna told him that no, no, this is Mother Ganga itself. Uh, and he called out Ganga Devi, Ganga Devi, Ganga Devi, and automatically and suddenly Mother Ganga herself appeared from this Manasi Ganga riding on a crocodile. Like Vishnuji travels on the Garuda, Brahmaji travels on the swan, Mother Ganga travels on the crocodile. So she appeared and she herself gave her darshan, and everyone now understood that this is Mother Ganga itself, herself here, and then they all took bath here itself in Manasi Ganga. Another pastime that has occurred here, and this Manasi Ganga is still there. The lake is still out there as you start from Kusum Sarovar and towards towards Anyor with Govardhan on your right. We will come to Manasi Ganga. It's another beautiful pastime of Manasi Ganga. Then comes on the way comes Chakratirtha. Okay, let me go back to the map to show. Yeah, we started out here, Manasi. This was sorry. We started out here, Kusum Sarovar, and as we are going here, we come to Kusum Sarovar, and then okay, number 6. Oh, sorry. Let me expand that a little bit. Number 6 is Chakratirtha, and that's why here there's 4, 5, 6, and 7. All of these occur here in this area of Govardhan. So yes, with that, so we went to Kusum Sarovar, Manasi Ganga, Chakratirtha. Chakratirtha is another worshipable place around Govardhan Dham, where Chakratirtha. This is where Sudarshan Chakra is worshipped. Primarily, the weapon of the Lord. Weapon of the Lord is no material thing. It is personification of Krishna's energy. Of course, it's the Chakratirtha. It is said that during Govardhan Leela, when Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill and Indra was pounding or sending tumultuous Samvartaka rains to fall on the Govardhan. On the prayer of Balaramji, Sudarshan Chakra was spinning very, very fast on top of Govardhan, and he was spinning so fast that not even a drop of water fell on Govardhan. And that's how he protected the Govardhan and also all the Dhamavasis. He was just evaporating, Chakra was evaporating all of the water, which was being showered by Indra, and he was just uh, uh, protecting Govardhan. And in the same place, the Chakratirtha is also a temple called for Mahadev, which is called the Chakaleshwar Mahadev, a very beautiful temple. And this also has a nice pastime of Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada, one of our wonderful acharyas. Sanatana Goswami used to have his bhajan kutir here, and at one point of time, there were a lot of mosquitoes here. Sanatana Goswami, I mean, they were if we go a little bit back to the history about Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, our prominent acharyas, the direct disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were born as Amar and I forget another name, but they were born as Brahmanas, wonderful Brahmanas, and they were raised by a loving father. And of course, but because they were so fully educated and so intelligent that the Nawab Hussain Shah there, who was ruling that side of the kingdom, this Nawab Hussain Shah was continuously, always, most of the time fighting with the neighboring king, which was Maharaj Prataparudra, who was ruling over Orissa, Bengal, and Jagannath Puri. At some times, this Nawab Hussain Shah could be victorious over Maharaj Prataparudra, but most of the times Maharaj Prataparudra was strong enough to hold fort in Pegasus. But it said that in one particular battle, Nawab Hussain Shah won, and so he came and he wanted to construct, in the honor of winning that battle, he wanted to construct a very big tower, and the tower was constructed by a very nice mason, but it was almost done when Nawab Hussain Shah came there and to check it out. And at that point of time, now the mason said, "Yeah, almost bit it to my best and capabilities. I could do better." As soon as Nawab Hussain Shah heard that he could do better, right away he said, "Why didn't you do better?" And he just took him and just dumped him over the tower to his death. And now there was no mason to continue and complete this tower. At this point of time, he called his prime minister or his minister there, and he was said that go to Ramakeli, and he didn't tell why, but go to Ramakeli, and then suddenly he got diverted to something else, some other matters. This minister thought that, oh, okay, if I don't go to Ramakeli right away, he's gonna kill me too, and he just directly went to Ramakeli, and when he reached Ramakeli, he didn't know what to do because he didn't know why he was sent to Ramakeli, but so he was just wandering, and when he was wandering, Sanatana Goswami saw him, and he said that, "Are you looking for a mason?" Then right away he remembered, yes, I am here for a mason. How did he know that I'm looking for a mason? And Sanatana Goswami was so well aware of all the things around himself that he said, yes, this is a place for very good masons. So if you are here, you should be looking for a mason. And he gave him the best mason. And this minister took him to the king Nawab Hussain Shah, and the mason completed the tower. And that point of time, the Nawab told him, "I told you to go to Ramakeli, but I did not tell why. But how did you know you need to get a mason?" And then that point of time, this minister told him that this particular personality is there, who is really educated and wonderful, and he told me the place. And so that time, that is when Nawab Hussain Shah came to know the prowess, the educational prowess of Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, Amar and Santosh. Yes, their original names were Amar and Santosh. So he wanted them to become his ministers. He wanted Rupa Goswami to become his finance minister and Sanatan Goswami to become his chief minister. And he called them and he told them, either you become my chief minister and prime minister, or I'm going to kill all the Vaishnavas, all the Brahmanas around this place. And so, although they did not want to serve under Muslim king, just to protect the devotees, just to protect the Vaishnavas, they agreed to become his ministers. And then he named them Sakar Malik and Dabir Khas. And of course, they were such wonderful. I mean, they did their work so amazingly that Nawab Hussain Shah was very, very impressed with their work, and he gave them of course, lots of wealth, and he gave them lots of freedom, and by which they also constructed many beautiful temples, and also they had a whole Srimad Bhagavatam study. At one point of time, they figured that enough is enough. We do not want to serve this king anymore. We want to simply read Srimad Bhagavatam. And they also knew that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had appeared in that time, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different than Radha and Krishna. They very well understood that. So they said that no, no, we want to now go and take shelter of this personality who is rare right now here, and we want to take his personality. So the one upon the insistence of their mother, they wrote a letter and sent to Mahaprabhu. And when Mahaprabhu received this letter from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, received this letter from Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, he told them, for now, continue what you're doing. Do your work amazingly, just as a wife who might have a paramour. She just does everything very wonderfully at home, but in heart of hearts, she is loving her paramour or lover. So similarly, you do your material work as it is, but in your heart of hearts, keep Krishna in the middle. That's a beautiful lesson to all of us as well in living in the material world, like living in today's world, in today's technology world, and things like that. We might be doing multiple things, but in heart of hearts, we should always remember Krishna. In another lecture, another wonderful sannyasi of ISKCON tells that Krishna simply wants what you can give to him. For example, from a flower garland maker in Mathura, when he reached Mathura, when Krishna was invited to from Vrindavan to Mathura by Kamsa, because Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna. When he arrived there, he asked one of the flower garland makers. He just asked them from flowers, and the garland maker gave him his best garland. And right away, Krishna gave him full bhakti, full prema bhakti. In the similar way, this sannyasi in ISKCON mentions that each one of us has our own, according to our karmic things, we have something unique within us. Some might be making wonderful flower garlands, some might be, for example, software engineers, some might be business analysts, some might be sportsmen. Krishna does not want a flower garland from a sportsman. He does not want a song from a software engineer. He just says, whatever you are, you do your best and keep me in the center of that. Then automatically we can become successful. That is one of the things that I felt I could take within my own life. That whatever I'm doing, I just should be able to always think of Krishna, remember Krishna, and do the activities. In that way, everything can be engaged in Krishna's service. And that's also one of my favorite verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi yadasnashi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasvesi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Like whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do it as an offering to me. Okay, this was a small diversion, but we come back to Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami Prabhupada here. So they were given the letter from, they received a letter from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, answering their question. They said, he said that, do continue your work, but in your heart of heart, engage in Lord Krishna's service, and someday things will change. And so they continued working, and after a long time, they got the permission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Rupa Goswami initially left. After that, Sanatana Goswami, he stopped going to the Nawab Hussain Shah's court. Then he started just simply reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and then the Nawab got to know that, oh, Sanatana Goswami is just not coming, and so he had him imprisoned. But then Krishna's mercy, Sanatana Goswami, by his clever tactics and by his intelligence, he escaped from there, and on in through a jungle forest, he finally reached Varanasi, and that's where Mahaprabhu at that point of time he was living in Varanasi with I think Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar. And so he was living in Chandrasekhar's house, and that's when Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami came there, and that is the first time Sanatana Goswami met with Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu embraced him and gave him all love. And then, of course, rest is history. Like Mahaprabhu teaches him for continuous 10 days, and then teaches him personally, and then Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are sent to Vrindavan, and then they excavate different pastimes places, and then they excavate different murtis and write so many literature. And Sanatana Goswami is considered as the guru of the entire Vrajvasis, and that's why if you see on Guru Purnima day, like all the Vrajvasis are there doing parikrama around Sanatana Goswami, around Govardhan Hill, and because Sanatana Goswami himself used to do it every day for all of his life. Every day he used to do parikrama of Sri Govardhan Dham, and that's what we have Sanatana Goswami Samadhi Mandir up next. And this is the photo of the Sanatana Goswami's Samadhi Mandir and Sanatana Goswami himself. So at this point, we humbly seek to humbly request for Srila Sanatana Goswami's prayer blessings for all of us, so we can also get some love for Krishna, and in whatever we do, we can engage in Krishna service. And with praying in that direction, we will move forward to the next stop in our Govardhan Parikrama. And that is Sri Haridev Mandir. Very beautiful pastime out here. I did not know about this pastime until I read this book of by His Holiness Indradharma Maharaj. This is the Haridev temple as you see out here, and inside the deity is present, and the deity's photo is also present on the right there. Excuse me. I would like to read. There is a short story of Haridev Mandir that is given by Maharaj, and we'll just two pages, 3 pages. I'd like to read this where we can understand this, how this temple came about. And so, in visiting Govardhan, in visiting Parikrama, the essence is to not just visit the place, not just take bath in a kund, but the most important aspect which I learned is to associate with the devotees there, is to hear about Krishna's pastimes, is to associate with the pastimes that have occurred and learn from those pastimes and try to apply it in our own lives. Um, I didn't do it so well, but with this session, hopefully, I'm definitely learning so much about different temples around Govardhan now. So with that, we will read a little about this Haridev Mandir. So Sri Haridev Mandir. One time, Radharani was supposed to have a rendezvous with Krishna at Manasi Ganga. When she and her Sakhis came here, Krishna did not show up. They were waiting and waiting for him, but he did not arrive. Maybe after some time, Lalita suggested, why don't we just call out for him? But Krishna has so many names. As you know, Anantasesha, one of the incarnations of the Lord, is at every moment saying a new name of Krishna, which describes one of his forms or pastimes. He never says the same name twice. He has been chanting them eternally and still cannot name them all. The gopis thought which name would attract him the most. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that the Lord has primary names and secondary names. When addressing the absolute truth, people often refer to him as the Lord or God, but this is considered a secondary official name. He is also called Purushottama, meaning the best amongst all men figures. However, devotees prefer addressing the Lord by names like Nandanandana, Shamasundara, Gopijana Vallabha. These names of the Lord describe the nectar of his loving dealings with his devotees in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, all the gopis started discussing about how they should call Krishna Manohara, Shamasundara, Gopijana Vallabha. But Lalita said, no, we should all call out for him as Haridev. The gopis looked at Lalita with surprise. Haridev? Hari means he who takes away everything inauspicious. The gopis were thinking that this was not an intimate name that they use in Vrindavan. But Lalita Devi said, yes, that is one of the meaning. The other meaning of Hari is he who is a thief. Krishna is the thief who stole our hearts. That is why we should call out for him as this name of Hari. O Krishna, O Haridev, he steals, the one who has stolen our hearts. Please come, or our life will leave us. All the gopis started chanting Haridev, Haridev. Because of the purity of their chanting and the intensity of their love for Krishna, this deity appeared. This very deity that we are seeing here, this deity appeared by the chanting of the gopis, calling Haridev. All the gopis started chanting Haridev, Haridev. Because of the purity of their, repeating that sentence, because of the purity of their chanting and intensity of their love for Krishna, this deity appeared. Actually, oh, I'm sorry, there is a small correction here. Actually, this is a different deity in front of us, a Pratibhu Murti of the original deity. Pratibhu means a replica of the original deity. This deity was installed here 10 or 15 years ago. This place is very sacred because Krishna himself appeared due to the gopis' prayers here. This is one of the places that Lord Chaitanya visited during his Govardhan Parikrama. This is the same temple where he chanted and danced. Raghunath Goswami warns us in his Sri Manas Shiksha, a Vaishnava devotee should not be attracted to the forms or the expansions of the Lord in Vaikunta. The Lord manifests his four-armed form in Vaikunta. The attraction to that form will take you to Vaikunta. There is a saying, home is where the heart is. If you develop your heart, and if your heart blossoms with love for Sri Sri Radha and Shyamsundar and their transcendental pastimes, then at the moment of death, this heart will take you to Goloka Vrindavan. If you awaken spontaneous, pure love for the divine couple Radha Krishna, it will lead you to transcendental Vrindavan, not to Vaikunta, where there is majesty and reverence in relationship with the Lord. Srila Prabhupada described Vaikunta as the official kingdom of God. When the Lord is in Vaikunta, it is like he's at his office. But when he goes to Vrindavan, it is like he is going home to spend time with his family. How do we awaken that love which is in the hearts of the residents of Vrindavan? How should we follow in their footsteps? Kaler dosha nidhe rajan ashti eko mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Maharaj Parikshit, O king, this age, which is just beginning, is going to be an ocean of inauspiciousness. There is only one good thing left in this age we are living in, that just by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can become completely purified from material dirt and go back home, back to Godhead. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 12:3-51. There are no doubts about that. If you are chanting the holy names, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, you will be liberated. Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. You will achieve ultimate liberation and go back home to Krishna. Right now, this is the place, exact place where the gopis called out to Haridev, who stole their hearts with love. So, as we are supposed to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavana, we should follow Lalita's request. We should call out to Haridev just like all the other gopis did, hoping for his mercy. So please raise your arms and say, Haridev, 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 Haridev. We are calling for Haridev and are requesting him to welcome him into our hearts. Shri Haridev ki Jai, Jai Shri Shri Radhe Shyam. Great, wonderful. After this Haridev Mandir in Govardhan Parikrama, our next stop will be Dhan Nivartan Kund. Before we talk about Dhan Nivartan Kund, we should talk. This is where the tax was nullified. But first, we'll probably quickly talk a little bit about the tax collecting pastime. Um, uh, that is the I forget the place name now. Anyone remembers the place? The place where Krishna collected taxes. Oh, now it's just crossing out of my memory. But then that's the place where actually where all the in Govardhan the Parikrama begins there. Even the Choti Parikrama and the Badi Parikrama begin at this particular temple, which is the place where the tax collecting pastimes of Krishna happened, where the gopis used to who gopis after milking and getting all their milk and butter at a particular spot around Govardhan. This was a shortcut. It could allow them to cross over and go towards their destination. And at this particular place, Krishna and his friends always used to put up tables and then stop the gopis and say that no, if you have to go across this place, you have to pay tax. If not, okay, yeah, you can go by the long way path. And that was too difficult for the gopis. So they were always in a tough situation with Krishna at this particular place. And, this is Dhan Nivartan Kund, and the other one is Dhangati, yes, that is the Dhangati place where Krishna used to collect all these taxes. So Krishna used to stop the gopis and they had to pay through their milk or butter, yogurt, everything, and then only Krishna and his friends used to allow them to go forward across. But there is one more place which is what we are talking about here, which is called the Dhan Nivartana Kund. That's another beautiful pastime happened here, which again I would like to narrate from this book called Govardhan. Very beautiful narration. We'll simply go through this and yeah, let's see how it goes. Dhan Nivartan Kund. This place is called Dhan Nivartan Kund. Originally, when Krishna was here, there were 108 kunds all the way, all around Govardhan hill. We can only imagine how beautiful it must have been. Uh, Yeah. So Dangadi is a different place. This is a place tax collecting pastimes take place. It seems to be a favorite pastime of Radha and Krishna because there were many of these Dhangadi places where the cowherd boys taxed the cowherd girls. This Leela is very nicely described in a book by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Excuse me. One time the gopis heard that there was going to be a very big sacrifice, fire sacrifice, to be performed at Govindakund. That kund is another 2 or 3 miles down the hill from here. For a fire sacrifice, a lot of ghee is needed. Radharani and the gopis promised to supply it. Dhangati is the most convenient place from which to cross over to the other part of Govardhan Hill. To get to Govindakund, the gopis needed to cross Dhangati, and the cowherd boys heard that the gopis were coming and decided to have some fun, as usual. They set up a little table there and put their turbans on, and they looked very official, like representatives of the king Kamsa. And the gopis crossed over the road, and the cowherd boys stopped them and said, "Stop, girls! You cannot go further. You have to pay a tax." Krishna was there with the cowherd boys. They were joking until Radharani came from the group. When Krishna saw Radharani, he was just stunned. He cannot imagine how beautiful Srimati Radharani is. Sorry, we cannot imagine how uh, beautiful Srimati Radharani is. She bewilders even the mind of Krishna. So Krishna saw Radharani and said, "Oh my God, what is this? A bolt of lightning?" And then he added, "No, it cannot be a bolt of lightning, because lightning is only here for a moment and then it disappears. But this brilliance is staying here." Then he looked at Radharani closer and said, "Is this a golden river? But golden rivers are not gopis, and this is a beautiful gopi standing here." Then finally Krishna realized it was none other than his most beloved Sri Radhika. Krishna called Madhumangal and other cowherd boys who said, "All right, dear cowherd girls, it's time to pay a tax to go further." The cowherd boy Madhumangal is famous for joking with the gopis, and he spoke first. "I have heard about you girls sneaking around Vraja. Why are you always sneaking around? I finally found this out. It is because you want to sell your butter, milk, and ghee on the black market. But you're not going to get away with this today. We are the king's representatives, and we are going to tax you." Then Krishna stepped forward and turned to Madhumangal and said, "Every gopi has to pay 5 heaps of diamonds." The gopis are simple village girls. You will probably meet many of the villagers on our way here. The best the villages, the cow gopis will have is a few cow paddies. How could each gopi give 5 piles of diamonds? Then Krishna said to Sri Radhika, "You are going to get a special tax." Srila Raghunath Das Goswami describes that Krishna taxed Srimati Radharani according to the beauty of her different parts of her transcendental form. So for the part in your hair, you have to pay 1 million sapphires. For your beautiful forehead, 10 billion emeralds. and for your eyebrows, which are just like bows, you have to pay 20 million golden balls decorated with jewels. Of course, neither the gopis nor Radharani could pay this exuberant tax, so they kind of stood there very shyly, not knowing what to do. The boys were animated by the pastime and kept insisting, "Girls, pay the tax or go back home." But the gopis were very determined to pass. They wanted to get to Govindakund as fast as possible, since there was a fire sacrifice being performed there for Krishna's benefit. But the cowherd boys were also determined and would not let them go. All this is arranged by whom? Purnamasi. She orchestrates all of these wonderful leelas. And she was a very dear assistant. She has a very dear assistant whose name is Nandamukhi, Nandimukhi. Suddenly Nandimukhi appeared in front of the gopis and asked them, "Girls, what is going on?" The gopis replied, "These boys will not let us pass. They want us to make they want us to pay an exorbitant tax." Nandimukhi winked at the gopis, turned to the boys and said, "Dear boys, no problem. Today these gopis have nothing to pay. Just let them go. I will make sure that these girls are down here at this kund, not far away from here at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they will pay the tax then." At the time, there were 10 to 20 gopis with Srimati Radharani. But the next morning, she arrived at 10 o'clock, accompanied by thousands of gopis. Previously, many beautiful Kadamba people and banyan trees were growing at Govardhan Hill. The girls all hid behind the trees. The boys arrived at around 11 o'clock and they were laughing while on their way about how they were going to get those girls, would make them fools of them, and would finally have to have all of those treasures. The boys came to the spot and were outraged, saying, "Hey, where are all those girls? Nandimukhi promised us that all of them would be here by 11 o'clock in the morning." Suddenly they heard a tumultuous voice saying, "We are here!" And all the thousands of gopis jumped out from behind the trees, circled Krishna and all the cowherd boys, grabbed them and tied each of them to the tree's branches by their shikas. You know how most Rajavasis always carry their little sticks around to protect themselves from monkeys. Well, the gopis took out their sticks and started beating the cowherd boys and Krishna. Then Krishna begged, "Oh gopis, oh Radhika, please stop, we give up. We will do anything you ask us." To this Radharani replied, "Okay, we will let you go, but we are not going to pay any tax." Krishna said, "Yes, yes, forget the tax, no problem, just let us go, untie our shikas." And all the cowherd boys nodded in agreement. This place is called Dan Nivartana Kund, the kund that we are seeing right here in front of us right now. It's called Dan Nivartana Kund, which indicates the place where the tax was nullified. Fine. So it's such a ecstatic thing. It makes us so happy because it's completely pure and transcendental. It causes us spiritual emotions. So, and Maharaj says here that we can hear this pastimes thousands and thousands of times, and every time it appears again new and new and again because these pastimes of Raja are so beautiful. So that's Dhan Nivartana Kund. We'll stop there. Sri Dhan Nivartana Kund ki jai. With that, we will move to our next location. Actually, as time comes shorter, I will quickly go through these different other kunds which are also present around Govardhan. As you see in the background, this is Govardhan mountain, and around Govardhan mountain is the Govinda Kund, and then we have the Navala Kund and Apsara Kund, very beautiful kunds still existing there around the Brajmandal Parikrama. And then we have right around the corner where we turn around and try to go up north again. This is the Pucharika Lotapava Mandir. This is again a very beautiful pastime of a Gopa. When Krishna leaves to Vrindavan, this particular Gopa is staying there, and he wants to. Krishna tells him, wait here, I'll come back. And because Krishna were left to Vrindavan, he kind of never came. I mean, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but in the manifest pastimes, he kind of goes to Mathura and then Dwaraka and everything else. So this particular Gopa, he's continuously sitting and he is even now waiting for Krishna to come back. And that is why it's called Pucharika Lotababa. This Pucharika means it's around the lower side of the peacock tail. And this very beautiful temple which is still existing, and this is the particular deity here, Pucharika Lotababa. So here is where we come. When we come to this particular temple, that's almost the southern end of Govardhanji, and then we kind of wrap around and we will start going back up. And this is again the same visual of that parikrama. This by the mercy of His Grace by Srikumar Maharaj, we got an opportunity to be in Govardhan in February this year, and so this is a photograph from that time, wherein this photograph was taken from the Narsimha temple. This is the Narsimha temple is there right next at the end of Govardhan Parikrama mark. Very beautiful Narsimha temple where we pray for all devotees' protection. And from there we can see Portugal Baba's temple and the Parikrama mark. And as you can see, people will be walking in this Parikrama mark and going around this. And then we'll come towards Uddhava Kund. Uddhava Kund is also another beautiful place mentioned in around Govardhan Dham. Then Uddhava Kund. After Uddhava Kund comes Surabhi Kund. This is where Mother Surabhi came when Indra was after Govardhan Leela. When Indra wanted to seek forgiveness from Krishna, he brought in Mother Surabhi along with him because Krishna will uh, always be happy when he has cows around him. And the associated pastime happened here around Surabhi Kund. And then this is another beautiful place around Jatipura where this particular temple exists, which is called Mukharavinda. There are around two or three places where Mukharavinda exists. That is around Govardhan. That is considered as the mouth of Govardhan Ji. And that is where most of all the bhoga which is offered to Govardhan Ji is offered there, this particular place called Mukharavinda. And that's where Govardhan Ji accepts all the bhoga and of course leaves it all back again for all the devotees to enjoy as prasadam. That's the beautiful past. Even all the Annakut festival and everything else happens around. I mean, it happens all around Govardhan, but Mukharavinda is the place kind of where it is officially offered into the lotus mouth of Govardhan. And then we come back mostly to the north, and that's where Radhakund and Shamakund come. This is the most beautiful place. As you can see, the back up here, this is Shamakund, and out here, this is Radhakund. I mean, again, the pastime of how Radhakund and Shamakund appeared is also very similar to Manasi Ganga, wherein Radharani wants Krishna to purify himself, and then that's how Krishna makes. mm and Radharani makes one. Krishna makes this Radhakund, and Radharani. Uh, Krishna helps to make the Shamkund, and that's the whole festival. I'm sorry, I might be confusing things there, but these Radhakund and Shamakund come into existence because of Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and very auspicious place. If we get an opportunity to take bath in these waters, it's just great. But even if we get to dip our fingers and take a little Achman and put it on our heads, that is enough to purify ourselves and get us love of Krishna. It's the beauty of that is the potency of Radhakund and Shamakund. Yeah. So that brings us almost to the closure. Most of the pastimes that I narrated here are taken from this wonderful book by His Holiness Indradhanurma Swami Maharaj. It's called The Traveling Monk in Sacred Places, Govardhan. Very beautiful book. This gave me an opportunity to read this book, read so many pastimes that I did not know. So we are very grateful to His Holiness Indradhanurma Swami Maharaj for writing this book, just giving us an opportunity to read and understand and get into the pastimes. There's lots more which can be done, but I'll try to stop there. Also, many of the photos I took, which we described for Govardhan, is by Ananda Vrindavan Prabhu, sorry. That's a typo. And very grateful to these devotees. And at this point, we'll see if there is any reflections. Anyone has any questions or comments? If not, we will probably do a little kirtan before we call it a day. 5 minutes. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanan Swami Nitnamane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitnamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshvarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We'll do it in the same. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, devotees, for joining us for this session on Govardhan Parikrama. And we are very happy that everyone could join. And thank you for giving us the opportunity, giving me an opportunity to purify myself and uh, share this Krishna Katha with you all. I wish you all very, very wonderful Karthik Mass, and especially for all the devotees who are going to Karthik Yatras around Govardhan and Vrindavan this month. Our best of the best wishes. We seek for your blessings and prayers. Please pray for us. And for folks who are staying here, we pray and hope that you can take these pastimes into heart and virtually visit Govardhan whenever you like and go around. And please try and get this book, Govardhan, very beautiful book by Sultan Sindhya Maharaj. You can read this book and virtually just uh, really live through all of these pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which have happened around Govardhan and Vrindavan. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Thank you from ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Hare Krishna. So now we will end the call.